if you need to pick your nose, just wipe it away now. It'll be fine. We're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday live stream, Cyclone live stream. And we are here after, I don't know how many weeks, but we're back on the stream. We have AkashLegoProductions and we have LEGODANIBOB. We're going to be joined by two other people, BFAB and ShyTimeIsMyTime. They are either in work or asleep on the couch. So hello to everybody. We'll do first of all, ask you guys, how are you doing? How are you doing, Akash?
I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Good to have you here. And Danny, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Excited to have some new conversations today and possibly learn a few things about this show that I've never seen before.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if anyone, everybody out there in the chat, we're talking about The Boys because Danny hasn't seen The Boys. It's extremely adult and violent, but it's so much fun. There are things that we'll talk about off the stream that are just like mind-blowing, like just, oh my God. We're going to say hello to some people, first of all, who are here with us. Moments of Magic, how are you? Good to see you. Says, oh yeah, to what? Don't know. And we're saying hello to The Hidden Brick, Minifig Who, Anna Hayes. I haven't done this for so long, it seems so weird. Mikey is here. Who's that in the background, Danny?
That's my nephew, Weston. He's been
From last night.
Hardcore today. Yeah, he's still here, I know, right? They just never leave.
Always hanging around. Good to see him. He was fun last night on your stream. We have Brick Studios. Chris, how's it going? Andrew is here. Hugh, we said hi to Mikey, who's saying hello to everybody in the chat. Anna, if I didn't say hi to Anna, we have Nicoletta is here. Hey, Nicoletta, I haven't seen you for a while either. And I saw Saber Trooper is here as well. I think we were talking to Saber Trooper on your stream last night as well, weren't we, Danny?
That's right.
Yep. Nicole is here. Good to see you, Nicole. And we are down to the bottom with everybody. Cabbage Face wants to know, is it live? It's not. This is a recording, and it is from and KMTO 424 is here also. So what we do is Oldendorf as well just jumped in. Hey dude, how's it going?
What's up?
What we do is we will jump into the questions and get to know our new friends a little bit. So Akash, as I said before, when I get the name wrong, just say, you're saying it wrong, for God's sake, man, I told you 7 times. Tell us a little bit about you and your Lego channel.
Right, so my name is Akash. I'm a 22-year-old brick filmer. It's you've probably heard of us. We're the guys who do the Lego animations on YouTube. I know there's a lot of different kinds of Lego YouTubers. I started about 8 years ago, back around when the Lego movie came out is when I started to get very serious about it. And it's just been kind of a hobby that's turned into a job, which is really nice. And I've been animating for a long time. And there's a really great Lego community online. So I think that helped me thrive and, make a lot of friends with the same interests. And it's just been really fun. And yeah, here I am today on this live.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome to be here. And, there is, this is the Lego community, but there's so many parts of the Lego community. It's just unreal. It's only probably in the past 7-8 months. Well, I've always watched kind of stop motions. Now, the first thing is, I was watching a guy yesterday. I cannot remember. Adam, he did a review yesterday on one of the new sets for Beyond the Brick. Can't remember his name, but he does.
Ant Bandit?
Yes. Now he's
yeah.
calling stop motions quick motions, and I was like, I thought they were all just stop motions. And then there's people calling them animations as well. So I mean, what's the proper term for it?
I think you can call it whatever. I usually just refer to it as Lego stop motion because when I'm explaining it to people, I like to have them completely understand, because when you say animation, that could mean like 3D as well, like the Lego movie and the Ninjago movie. So when I'm referring to what I do specifically, I call it Lego stop motion.
That's cool. Now, I was obviously doing a little bit of research and I was looking on the kind of wiki fandom thing, and I noticed you don't do it anymore, but you used to do yours using your iPad. Is that right? Was that not insanely hard?
It was pretty hard, but it was also really accessible. As a child or someone who was 13, 14, you don't always have access to these really expensive cameras. So just being able to do it on your iPhone or iPad, I know a lot of kids got into stop motion that way just because it's a lot more accessible. They have a lot of great apps that are free that you can do stop motion on. So it was challenging because the iPad's really big, but with the challenges, I think it helps you learn. And then once you go to something easier like a camera, I think you get a lot better just because you've had to start off with this huge iPad that's so hard to fit into Lego sets.
That's true. I mean, like you can, if you want to get like close in, you've got like a big blocky kind of thing. You can't get it, and sometimes you zoom in too much and it doesn't look the best. Now, did you know you had a wiki fandom page?
I did not know that.
Oh, there you go. Just type in your name and it comes up, and it has loads of information. It needs to be updated, so whoever looks after that, get a move on that. They're about a year out of date. But and what camera do you use now, or do you use multiple cameras?
Now I use a couple. When I'm shooting my personal projects, I use a Canon T6i. And then when I'm doing stuff for television, like when I did the boys stuff, they requested that I use the Sony just to match what they shoot the show on. So depending on who I'm shooting for, usually they have preferences about which camera I use.
Oh, okay. Didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And we always tell people, like, we always get people in the chat asking, like, want to start a channel, what should I use? And we always just say, just use what you have. If you've got a phone, use a phone, use a desktop lamp. And, as time goes on, just upgrade those kind of things. Now, you've been doing you've had your channel for, what is it, about 7-8 years or more?
Yeah, around there.
And what was your kind of big break? Because there's so many, like I started out like watching all sorts of Lego videos, and there were loads of cool stop motion people, and they changed their names over time. So what was your big break where you kind of like got your breakout video?
I think it might have been one of my early Justice League videos. Again, it was when the Lego movie came out. I think that really shot everybody who did Lego stop motion. Their channels all kind of did really well. So once that movie came out around 2015, I had a Justice League video that started to get quite a bit of traction, and that's when things ramped up for me.
That's awesome. As you know, or you may or may not know, we had Forest Fire 101 here a few months ago, and he just opened our mind to all sorts of things. And the funny thing was, I researched nearly everything about him, but I didn't know anything about the the duck song. So everybody was like in the chat going, duck song, and I was like, are they insane? What are they talking about? A whole different side of him. Do you have anything like that? I know you have a podcast channel, but do you have anything other than your main channel you work at?
I guess not. It's not really online, but I direct films as well. So I direct live action on the side of animating. So I guess that's maybe a side that my channel subscribers don't see. But yeah, no, I also draw a lot. I do storyboard art. So I guess a lot of brick filmers, I know they have their online presence and then something else that they dabble in. So
that is pretty cool. That's a good segue into someone else who is a YouTuber and does really good art. We have BFAB here. Hey, dude, how's it going? I think he's asleep. So yeah.
Sorry, I walked away to get some food. I will talk in like 2 minutes.
You go, dude. I'll come back when you're ready.
He's here, but he's not here.
He's here. He's not here. He's been working all day, so he's probably starving. And so what I noticed when I was watching The Boys, which we'll get into in a few minutes, in the end credits, I went looking for the stop motion, the Lego animator, and I found your name, and it was like it is at the moment on the screen, all one word. Is that the way you've always planned it to be, or if anyone broke it up, would you be like, hey, that's kind of the wrong way to do it?
Like my full channel name?
Yep.
Oh yeah, I always like to keep it together, just because it feels more like an entity that way, just so that people maybe don't confuse. I mean, you wouldn't confuse Lego and Productions for my real name, but just in case,
Yeah, so kind of the brand of your brand. Yeah, I get you. Because I think I spaced it out on the thumbnail, but that was just so people would look at it and in their head they'd go blah 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 rather than go, oh my god, it's a big long word, I don't know what that is. Danny, do you have any questions?
My first question is, can you hear the leaf blower outside of my house?
I thought it was my fan. I turned that back on then.
No, I keep putting myself on mute because it's like, you know how leaf blowers are. They're on and off. So in terms of your like work schedule and stuff, you're like full-time Lego animations, right? And then you say you dabble in some of this stuff on the side. What is your like your routine like? What's your rhythm? Like how often are you animating stuff? How often are you planning your next project? What does that look like for you?
My schedule does get animation obviously takes a long time, so it can get pretty intense. I think I'm almost always planning my next project while finishing the last one. But as for animation time, I think a lot of animators, they kind of relate to this where you animate mostly in the evening hours when it's dark. So a lot of the time I'll animate late at night because that's when all my other friends are animating. And then during the day is mostly scheduling and planning because that's when everyone else involved in the project is awake. And then it's sort of this thing where once all the lights go out and everyone's in bed, that's when you start animating, just because there's not a lot of bothers. So I'd say my days are usually packed with scheduling meetings and planning stuff, and then I'm animating mostly at the night.
So how many people are you working with then?
It really depends. Sometimes I'm working with another animator, my friend Rad Visuals, who also has a channel. We split the workload sometimes. And then usually there's a couple people in positions like producer or director, or if we're doing music videos, the artist will be another person that we're in contact with. So it's usually a couple people that are overseeing the projects we do.
Oh, dang. Wow. Can I ask what you're working on right now?
Oh yeah. Right now I'm doing another Lego music video actually for an artist named Otis Julius. And I just finished another Lego music video for an artist. So yeah, it's really fun to do Lego projects for all these people, you know, and kind of spread that medium.
Right. Are they reaching out to you to have these animations, or stop motion is what we're calling it, right? To have those done?
Yeah, I think a couple of them see my work online and then they reach out, or they look for Lego animators. That's what I love about Instagram. It connects so many people, as you can see.
Yeah, totally.
That's a good question. And I mean, as Danny was saying there, like, the artists, like, are they like, would that then be shown on TV or their YouTube or Instagram or?
I think most of the time it goes to their YouTube. They have Vivo channels, I think what they're called. Most of the time they'll go there. Other times, sometimes it's just an Instagram reel, because I know that's getting really big right now. So yeah, it really depends. Sometimes I don't even see the projects after they're finished. It kind of just goes somewhere and I don't know where it goes, but most of the time it's on YouTube.
That's hilarious. BFAB, do you get your food? Yeah.
Yeah. I quickly stuffed a burrito down my face. So
that's good. Do you have any questions?
See, I know Akash. I know his whole life story. No, I'm kidding. I've known about his channel since I think 2015, 2016. Wow. So I've known about you for a while. Okay, so I don't know if this question's been asked because I basically just arrived. Do you think brick filming is dying? Do you think like the whole stop motion aspect genre is kind of like dying down at the moment?
I honestly, it's so hard to answer that because Blender is getting really big now. A lot of people are moving over to 3D animation, but stop motion wise, I don't think it's dying. I just think there's no way it's going to be as huge as it was in 2015, 2016, because it was really big then. So
understandable.
I think it's got settled to a point, but we're just so used to how popular it was that it might seem like it's dying. But I think it's just at like a normal rate right now.
I feel like back in the day, like a animator could put out a stop motion and get millions of views easily. Now you don't really see that happening as frequently. So
that's very true.
Is there the same competition though? Because like I can't imagine doing stop motion. Like the bar is really high for people who are good at it with the amount of time that it takes and just the skill. So I would imagine that less people are getting into it because of that.
That's true, but also just because of the accessibility, I'm finding a lot of young kids are getting really good at it. Like I've seen channels where I'm watching the video, I'm like, this is incredible, and it's like a 13-year-old. So I'd say that they're getting really good at stop motion. So I'd say if anything, the competition's there's more competition now.
Yeah, actually, that's what you're saying.
The younger generation is so talented. They just keep improving on things. I think that for me, I feel like stop motions might not be as performing as well because of the algorithm. I feel like the algorithm nowadays promotes longer, consistent content. And when you're an animator, you're taking a long time to produce a piece of content, you know?
That's true as well.
Like, do you mean that might be like a month of absence? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, because it seems like you look at like people like Just Do Good, Ash, M&R Productions, the guys who are like on top of the YouTube game, and it's not that they're putting out the highest quality content; they're putting out consistent content. I can't speak. Compared to, let's say, Akash that might take 3 months on a project. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. I just want to say thank you to Hugh, who likes the display behind me. Check out Danny's as well; it's awesome. Take a look at Danny's. We're going to put you in the big screen, screen, Danny, so people can see. Woo!
This is me. Hello, welcome to my face.
Lighting is.
It could actually be a little bit clearer.
Yeah, I'm jealous of her lighting.
Okay.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I got this. This LED. Oh my gosh, guys, this is what I look like. Did you know? Oh my gosh, this is what I look like on a Thursday afternoon.
She's only 14.
Oh my gosh.
Mike and Nike is here as well. Good to see you, dude. And if you're just joining, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here. Everybody has a link in the description below, so go and check them out. I put their Instagram links there too, and they're all putting great stuff out there, so go and check them out and check each other out as well in the old chat as well. So on to the next question, because the first question took ages, and that's brilliant. That's what I like to hear, and I hope you guys have more questions, and later on, if we run out of questions, we might throw it out to the chat as well. So I want to know what got you into Lego.
Lego,
Lego itself.
Oh my gosh, that's good. I remember my first set. I think I was 11. It was the buildable droideka from Star Wars, from Revenge of the Sith.
No way.
Wow.
I got that set and I thought it was really cool. It was the only one I had for a really long time. And then my parents got me another. I watched the Clone Wars a lot, the animated series. Like, I was obsessed with it. So my parents bought me one of the Clone Wars sets just because I liked the show so much. And then when I got the set, I started to kind of imagine episodes that I didn't see happening. I was like, oh, I wish they would do this in the show, but I have the Lego set, so I can kind of do it myself. And then after I started doing that, I learned about animation, and I was like, oh, I can actually animate these ideas as well and kind of make my own really low quality version episode. So that is what got me into Lego and animation.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
And do you have, or did you ever have another kind of YouTube channel kind of on the side doing other stuff, or was we just focused on what you're doing now, like since the very start?
I have another channel that I don't really post on, but I used to just do kind of time lapses, hauls, behind the scenes stuff, kind of a more casual thing where I built things and stuff. So yeah, I had that channel that I did alongside my animation channel for a while. But other than that, yeah, just those two, kind of dabbling in all kinds of Lego content, I guess.
Now, the next question is probably just answered itself. Did you ever have a dark age?
Maybe.
No way. I got into it kind of later, so I never had a dark age. It kind of like, well, I know when I was about 5 or 6, I remember the old like police cars and policemen with no arms, and the old cars, they were just all brick built. You couldn't put a figure into it. So when I was young, I was like, oh, I want to put them in. So I just never bothered with it anymore, and I kind of got into He-Man and Mask and stuff like that. But yeah, so I mean, how long would your dark age last for?
I think that, just so I'm clear, it's referring to like a time you kind of got out of Lego, right? Yeah. I think after it was when I went to university for film, there was, I think, a good 5 months where I was thinking, okay, if I want to pursue animation and directing, etc., I might have to step away from the YouTube stuff, because I thought of it almost as a distraction. But then I was quickly learned my lesson, being like, oh, I love animating Lego and I don't ever want to stop. So I'd say it was maybe like 5 months.
That's not too bad. I mean, a lot of people spend like years and years and years out of it. And then number 5 was what got you into YouTube, and you pretty much answered that as well. So it's not a personal question. Is this your full-time job, or do you have something else on the side? A lot of people, this is their full-time job, and they don't do anything, because they're so busy, and it's a full-time job. And a lot of people forget that, like, making a YouTube video of any type is quite hard. It's if you want to make a good one.
Yeah, that's true. So my job is stop motion animator. That's my full-time career, which is not limited to Lego. Sometimes I'll do claymations or silicone puppets like you see in shows, like Coraline, for example, that type of stuff. So yeah, my full-time job is stop motion animator, and then sometimes the medium falls into Lego.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And the other one was, okay, now the main, let's get into the meat of it and veg of how I discovered you and stuff like that. The Boys. So if anybody out there doesn't know what The Boys is, The Boys is basically a show on Amazon Prime Video. It is about superheroes, but a company who are in the superhero business. I'm not going to give too much away because you have to go and watch it, especially because our new friend has been featured twice with his Lego animation in it. So tell us about that. Who reached out to you, and what happened?
Right. So I'm from Toronto, Canada, and they shoot The Boys here. So it's really local. A lot of my friends were extras in the background, and the art director, his name was David. He does all the like visuals, graphics, and that stuff. He had heard of my channel. So when they were having a meeting one day, he said that they were toying with the idea of some Lego stop motion. And since they shoot in Toronto, he was like, oh, I know somebody locally who does that, who animates Lego. And then they reached out to me, and I was super excited. It was that week when I got that call was really crazy, just because, you know, I'm just a Lego YouTuber and I was a fan of the show. So it was kind of surreal. And so they reached out to me. We went through like all the planning, and then I got to animate for the show, and it was kind of crazy.
Did you believe them when they called, or were you like, oh, the prank?
It's funny because when they called, it said Sony, just like no number. It just said Sony, and I do this weird thing where I always answer phone calls. I know people get a lot of spam calls, but I always answer my phone calls. And I feel like if I didn't answer that one that day, I might have not gotten the job. But I said Sony when they called me, and I was like, Sony, like actual Sony? This is so weird. So then I answered, and it was somebody from their producing department who kind of gave me the rundown. And it was pretty believable, just because I know they shoot in Toronto and they like to keep everything really local. So I believed it. I was just kind of in shock. So
that's incredible. And I mean, some of our friends actually got contacted by Lego Masters, and they actually had to go to their LinkedIn page to see if it was the real person, because, like, you know, there's a lot of kind of like jokers out there. But did you get to go to the set at all?
I did not get to go to the set. All of the work I did was remote. But when I picked up my check for payment, I went to the studio, which was really cool. They shoot by the east side of Toronto. They have this really big studio, and I didn't see anyone or anything, but there were a lot of signs and posters everywhere. So that was the closest I ever got to the actual set.
That's awesome. And did they give you an actual paper check?
Yeah, I requested it to be paid like that so I could go and see the office. It was kind of
that's smart.
That was smart.
I would have been like, oh, just send it through electronically, it's fine. But actually, to get a photograph of the check, are you allowed photograph checks? To get a photograph of the check would have been cool as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that brings me on to the other question. Did anybody from the show, actors or anybody, like contact you afterwards, you know, say, hey, saw your thing or anything, or no?
No, nobody contacted me. I always wanted to know if, when the characters watch it in the show,
I was going to ask you.
I don't think they are, but the actor who plays Homelander did comment on my post and was like, "Great job!" So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Did anybody like have any kind of contact? So that's Star, isn't it? Like that's a pretty cool name to be born with, isn't it?
Yeah, Anthony Starr.
Yeah, that's good. I'd like to know what they're like in real life. Do you know what I mean? Because some people have traits when they act. Do you know what I mean? I know he's not going to be like Homelander, but it's funny because I did see some of their reels from the show, and they're driving along, and you know, how he's like, oh, I'm one of the stars, and he's like Howie. He like the actor is a star as well, and he's like, oh, I'm here, one of the stars. It's Anthony Starr. Oh, isn't it funny? And he goes, what's the best thing about being in The Boys? He says, well, he cursed, so I can't actually say it, but go and check out the reels. But yeah, it's a funny show, and you said you've been into it from the start, yeah?
Not from the start, but like shortly before they reached out to me. It was getting a little bit popular at that time.
Yeah, same with me, and I sometimes they're in my nightmares. But yeah, I wonder if he was just looking at the tablet or whatever, and it was just a blank screen. It would have been cool if he was actually, although he probably wouldn't have been able to concentrate because he's checking out this cool video and then he has to remember lines and everything. But I was shocked when I saw it, because it was so good, and I actually watched it about 4 or 5 times, looking to see all details and stuff like that.
How do you feel about the fact that the kid holding that tablet is like really young and claiming that as his own work?
That was funny because a lot of people messaged me. They're like, "Oh, this kid Ryan made this video." No, he didn't. Akash did. That was really funny. And the other thing is kind of an interesting, I guess, fact is that since it was a kid so young, I was conflicted about how good to make the animation because I didn't want it to seem too not believable.
Right.
So I was like, okay, maybe I'll just put a little less effort into the lighting, the composition, just so we believe that this young boy made it. But then it was also the fact that, this company is reaching out to you and you want to provide your best work. So I tried to find like a happy medium between the two.
Interesting.
How many times did you go backwards and forwards with different parts of it where they were like, yeah, happy with that or not happy with that?
They actually were very, I had a lot of freedom. The first scene that I did, I don't know if this is a spoiler, but it's a recreation of something. So there wasn't too many creative decisions to be made on my part. I was just recreating something specifically in Lego for them. So they were really, I kind of just did it once, gave it to them, and they were happy with it. And then they color graded it, edited how they needed for the show. It was actually really long, and I think it was like a minute plus, and only 20 seconds made the cut, which was interesting. How much stuff gets cut in television, like that.
Yeah.
I learned. But yeah, they didn't really have any notes about it, so that was cool.
And who did the voice?
The voice was the boy, Ryan.
It really was him.
Yeah.
Wow. And how did that work out? Did they just dub it over what you gave to them, or?
Oh, that was so.
Or did they send you the voice?
I think for the first season, they had sent me the actual scene with the real audio from the movie, and I animated to that movie, and then they did the dub after. I think it was just so long ago, I can't exactly remember.
When they sent you that scene, did you have to sign an NDA?
Yeah. They also like watermark the script that they give you just in case it leaks. They'll know exactly whose script it is. Yeah.
That's bonkers. Did you photocopy it? I'm only joking. Say no more. They might be watching. Danny, anything to add?
I saw that Axel actually asked an interesting question. He said he actually asked. Let me put the emphasis on actually asked an interesting question because Axel loves to troll everybody in the chat. He says, should there have been a Lego stop motion scene in Doctor Strange 2? Because they go through all those multiverse things, right? There's all these different images. What are your thoughts on that?
I think there absolutely should have been. Maybe not Lego stop motion, but some sort of stop motion. Because there, I think, was there one animated universe? There was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that would have been cool.
Yeah.
They were at least paint or something, weren't they? I think
there was definitely paint. I remember the paint. That was weird.
Oh, paint.
Yeah. Or even if there was like an Adventure Time version of them or something, would have been funny.
Yeah.
Thanks for the question, Axel. So let me see what so we asked that one. Were you a fan of the show already? We asked that one. Did any of them contact you after? We asked that one as well. So the podcast. Now this is something I only found today. What you've got another channel that does podcasts, and do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Get it kind of out there. I'm sure people who are watching may be interested on checking it out.
That was my COVID podcast. I think everybody kind of got these new ideas during COVID. So me and a couple of my friends came together and decided just to do what we always do and just put a camera up, really talk about movies and stuff. So that didn't last very long. I think we made 3 episodes. We really want to get back to it. It's just that with everything kind of lifting, people's lives get super busy. But that was a lot of fun. Yeah, I want to keep doing it. And I think some people really enjoyed it as well. I've gotten a couple messages. But yeah, that was just something we did to pass the time within COVID in our small circle. But yeah, I really do want to get back to it. I think podcasts are great.
Yeah, really, really good. Now, there's someone else who is joining us. Who another good segue. This person does a weekly podcast, which is available on YouTube and all places where you find podcasts. It's ShyTimeIsMyTime. Hey, how are you?
My bad. Sorry, I was not ready for that.
You're fine. I saw you like you were picking your nose or something.
How's it going, everyone?
Good, good, good. I was just telling everybody about Cali Brick Click. That's the name of the
Good.
show that I didn't actually tell you the name of. How are you?
Good, good, good. Just home alone, working, taking care of the kids. You know how it is. You're in the back. I'm sorry.
This is Akash. You probably know who he is already, and this is Shy. I don't know if you've crossed paths at all before.
Never.
We have now.
Nice to meet you. How's
Nice
it
to
going?
meet you too.
I was watching some of who was I watching the other day? Who was on the 72-hour live stream the other day that you were on? It was Ninja with bricks.
Ninja, the beginning of the 72-hour.
That was brilliant. I think that was my favorite one so far. Like, it was so much fun. And how did he not get taken down playing music, proper music?
He's not monetized, so it doesn't help. Oh, sorry, it doesn't hurt him.
I was digging the music. I really liked hearing D like Groove is in the heart. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, so he always plays like copyright claim music on his stuff, so it didn't make a difference. So it felt like pretty cool.
With the time difference, he's always on in the middle of the night when I'm in bed asleep, and then when I get up in the next morning, I watch some of it, and I'm just so tired and then busy and stuff. But that was probably my favorite one so far.
I think Tech didn't even go to sleep. He was up the entire time.
Are you taking part in the 72-hour live stream this year?
Yes, I finally caved in, and I'm doing one at 9 p.m. my time.
When?
9 o'clock my time. So
today?
You'll be asleep tonight.
Oh man, I always miss the really good ones. But I'll watch it.
All stops for taking up.
Come here. Do you have any questions while we're here?
No, actually, I was listening through a lot of it, so you got a lot of that in there because I was not in the green room for like 30 minutes. It was all good.
Well, if you come across a question, just jump in. I want to find out when you started doing your Lego stop motions and your YouTube and stuff. What did your friends think of it? Were they into Lego at the time? And now, obviously, being older, when you tell people, what did they think? Now, the Lego, specifically the Lego stuff.
Right. I think I was really lucky. I've had a lot of kids reach out to me saying, they get bullied for it or they can't really tell a lot of people. But I think I was really lucky. A lot of people at my school were very supportive. And I knew I wanted to pursue film from an early age. So I was already surrounded by kids into movies and animation as well. So yeah, people were very supportive of it from the beginning. And a lot of people had Lego themselves too, because I started very young. And then a lot of the people who maybe didn't take it as seriously, I think once I did the Boys season 2 clip, everyone was kind of like, oh, this is cool. And I was like, yeah, Lego is cool. And you'll probably see it in something you watch eventually. So yeah, I've been very lucky that the reception to my work and what I do has been really great. So,
I mean, I see questions on quiz shows. I'm married. I watch quiz shows with my wife, and Lego questions are coming up on every single one. And it's like, hey, and sometimes I get so flustered. I'm like, oh, blah, 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 and they've said the answer already. And Lorraine is like, you should have known that. And I'm like, but I just got so excited. Like, it's talking about Lego everywhere now. And even in shows, it's always like, I mean, it was in one of the older series of The Walking Dead. One of the guys in the prison was playing with a Lego set. And I was like, oh my God, like it's just everywhere. It's crazy. What about your like what your family, like, did they ever would they ever say to you, listen, come on, will you get a job and stop this and whatever? And then you started making money and you were like, haha, I'm making money now. I don't need to do that.
Yeah, I think my parents were really supportive, and I was really lucky to have my channel take off. I think kind of earlier when I started. I think it was 2 years until I started making money, maybe 1.5. But that was always a thing that my dad, he'd be like, yeah, you got to focus on, school, this, and that. And then I remember one day I was like, because obviously I was 13. So I said to my dad, oh, I need you to attach your bank account to my YouTube channel. And he just looked at me and goes, why? And I said, oh, because they want to pay me. And then he said, no, that's how scams work, like this, that. And my mom actually caved. And the first time I got paid, my dad was like, oh, wow, this is kind of a real thing. And I was like, yeah, so many people make careers out of YouTube, especially Lego YouTubers. Like, it's kind of incredible. And then I think ever since then, they started supporting my ambitions to be an animator. And then, yeah, here I am today.
And without disclosing the full amount, like the first, was it like an eye opener to your folks, or was it like a modest amount where they were like, oh, this could go somewhere? Like, were they like, oh my God, you made that doing that?
Yeah, it was a buildup of the whole year, because I didn't have a bank account at that age. So it was enough for them to be like, oh, wow, okay, this is not just some little thing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's payday today. I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me, Mikey. But it's pretty cool because, well, for starters, it's hard to get monetized, and then it's hard like to get some money. Like, it's, I don't do this full time. I do this just as a hobby, and we all do it just as a hobby. And it's nice to get that money when it comes through. And I've had people say like, oh, you get paid like for making videos, and I'm like, eventually I get €80 after 3 months. But like, I mean, it's just brilliant. I'm so happy when I hear people are doing it full time as a job, because it's not really a job. It's just having fun. Like you have fun doing it. You're getting to do something you've always done and get paid for it, and have people reaching out and asking to do stuff for them.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the best part?
I think the best part is kind of just, this is always a funny answer, but it is really just seeing the reception. Like, I've had so many kids tell me that they wanted to quit animating, and then they saw my work in The Boys, and they're like, wow, this is so crazy, and it made me want to start again. And it's just really nice to be able to kind of show people that, there is a place for Lego animation in the world, and you can kind of pursue it as a career path. Because I think when I was young, it was always a question of, oh, can I do this? Can I be an animator? Like, so it would have been nice to have somebody there telling me that when I was young. So it really is just super nice to see all the kids' responses to the stuff that I'm doing. And that's why I keep trying to publicize a lot of the things that I do, just so that, if I can be an inspiration to anyone, that means a lot to me.
That's awesome. That is really good. Like, I mean, I see a lot of people in the chat saying that they love your videos and everything like that. So what would be your advice be to anybody who wants to become a Lego animator? Where do they start?
I think I would say just make a lot of videos. You don't have to post everything that you make. I have a lot of videos that have never seen the light of day. It's just good to practice and, really just make sure you're actually enjoying it and doing it for the right reasons. But yeah, I would say just practice, because at the end of the day, so many people do it. So if you can kind of have a uniqueness to the way you animate, I think that's a really good thing, because it's easy to get lost in the sea of Lego animations.
That is true. I want to take time to say hello to everybody else who's joined. We have Kellyanne who's joined. I didn't get to say hi to Jeremy earlier on. Hi, Jeremy. I also saw Brightest Witch Bricks has joined as well. Hey, Lauren, good to see you. Tina Bricks dropped in. Mikey and Jen have dropped in to say hello to us. Will Harper is here as well, and I saw Minifig Who dropped in as well. There's some copyright-free music on SoundCloud, etc., etc. So there is copyright-free stuff out there. If you have any friends out there, they might send you a cool load of sound effects as well. Thank you, Danny, for that. And so don't forget to hit the like button on the stream. And if you're watching it back, leave a comment. If you have any questions, we'll try and answer them in the comments when this is finished. Don't forget to subscribe to everybody who is here on the panel, and their links are down in the description below. And I mean, as far as YouTube comes, how often do you try and get a video out?
Oof, I was dreading that question. It's tough now, just because, with all my other work, it's kind of tricky. It's hard to find time, but I do try every once in a while. I'd say every month or every 2 months, I try to get a video out on the channel. And because the Lego stuff, even though my channel stuff is work as well, it does still kind of feel separate from the other things that I do. It's like kind of getting back to my roots. So every now and then I'll try to post, a little Spider-Man video, Doctor Strange, Star Wars, something like that on my channel.
because there were a few questions there. There might have been spammy questions because I see that some of them were deleted. But some people want to know when part 2 of, I don't know if you cut what it was. Some people are looking for part 2 of something that you've done before. I'm not sure if it was of the Avengers.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of videos that kind of never got a part 2 or part 3. There's a couple of those just because when I was younger, I was so ambitious and started all these series. So there's a couple unfinished things that I'd like to get back to.
And it is hard. I mean, tell everybody why it takes so long to, between videos. I mean, there's a lot of work, and you do have on your channel some behind the scenes videos, which are very interesting, very informative. I was reading through the comments on them as well, and other people were saying that they've learned something from watching them. So how long would it take to maybe make a 1.5, 2-minute video?
1.5 to 2 minutes. I think that usually might take maybe a week, depending on the complexity of the animation. It really depends on what you're animating. Like a Doctor Strange video will take way longer than, say, just Captain America, if that makes sense, just because of the levels of what they do. And like Harry Potter will probably take a lot longer than maybe Jurassic World. It really depends on the complexity, but I'd give an average about maybe a week for 2 minutes for me at least.
Okay, so everybody get off his case. It's hard work. Hello to I saw the brick patch there, and Lego Bear is here as well, saying hello as well. So what was the other one I was going to ask you? YouTube. When you got into YouTube, did you start out watching other YouTubers, Lego YouTubers? Who did you discover first?
I think the first people I watched were Forest Fire for sure. Keshin8, he did a lot of stuff. There was this other guy, Pizza Movies. I don't know if you've heard of him. He did a lot of old Star Wars stop motions that were really classics. So yeah, Pizza Movies, Keshin, Forest Fire, Brotherhood Workshop is another big one. He's really, really good. And Fancy Pants, Clone Training Center.
I love that name. That's so cool.
Those are kind of the big ones when I was young.
Yes, because I've never looked specifically for animated videos. I've always just had them recommended and stuff. And so all these people that I hear of, I'm always interested to find it, because ages ago I had lots of different people on the channel, on the streams, and I asked people to tell me who I should have on as a Lego stop motion or animator, and everybody said Forest Fire, and I was like, okay, go and check him out, and the stuff he does is really, really, really good. And if you haven't heard of him, go and check him out. And he's done loads of stuff for other people as well. And some of his stuff is extremely gruesome and adult, but it's with Lego, and it makes you think of another way of using Lego. It's just brilliant. And your kind of gory stuff as well. What do you use? Is that putty? I've seen you use what did I watch? I watched The Mandalorian when you did. Yeah, that was really good. And there was kind of purple goo kind of stuff. Is that putty?
That's Sculpey clay. Yeah.
Right. It's so good, really good. Danny, you'd like that one.
Thank you. I think it depends on, a lot of the times when I'm making a video, I try to think about how violent I want it to be, and there's kind of like levels. If you're doing blood, you can do it with clay so that it doesn't look as gory, but then you can also do it with like paint and marker ink. So depending on what you use for the blood, I find really changes the level of violent that your video is. So,
would you class your channel as a not a kids channel, but would you class it as kind of like PG, or do you even put a label on? Do you care?
I do care, because a lot of the time I used to get a lot of comments from I think mothers and grandmothers who had commented saying, "Oh, my child watches this and it's a bit violent." So I like to have all videos for everyone. Like I'll put some warnings sometimes if it has violence, but I do try to make sure I'm hitting every kind of age limit when I do my videos, just so there's something for everyone to watch.
That's good. That's good. Danny, have you any more questions, or is the leaf blower blowing your head off again?
No, it's not too bad. No, I was actually just watching the Mandalorian one right now. I was like, I think I've seen part of this, but nope. There's quite the putty mess all over that Lego. Is that a pain to clean up?
Oh my! The Mandalorian set was like that for I think 6 months. I just was dreading cleaning. It's crazy. I've got some sets still in my room that are covered in clay.
Oh no, because it probably sticks really well.
Yeah. Especially in the legs. I don't know if you guys have ever had the legs. The back kind of part can snap off really easy.
On the legs, it can snap off?
Yeah, it's like the bottom hole on the back of their legs.
Oh, yeah.
If you put too much clay in it, that part can pop out, which happens a lot during animation.
Dang, I did not know about that.
No, I've only seen that happen with the, those, what were they called, Danny? The plastic things, the spraying jumper things that they used to have in the Marvel sets. They used to crack the legs.
Oh, like the stands that were slightly angled to make them pose? I don't know.
No. They were I can't remember what they were called. They came in, I think it was the 2018 sets, but usually in the Marvel ones. And you put your minifigure on and you push down this. They were clear. You push it down and he jumps. But then they had to, everybody found out that it was cracking all the legs of the minifigures. But I interrupted you. Go on, Danny. What were you going to say?
I was actually curious about your own personal Lego collection. Because clearly you have to have stuff to be able to animate with.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we were talking about legs cracking. It did kind of remind me of like people who display minifigures, like I myself, not sure if you can actually see them, but I have a bunch on a base plate. That's been a concern. But then also it's just like, yeah, what's your personal collection look like? Do you enjoy building sets or just creating stop motion with them?
It gets tricky. Being an animator and a collector is not the best combination because I also, I've got a display at home, but half of my sets are not complete because you're always pulling from things for videos.
Right.
And it's like my brick bank. Is that what it's called? The modular? Is it the brick bank?
Yep.
That one, I'm always pulling parts off of that for videos. And it's always, I'll fix it after this video. But if you see it now, it looks like it's been through an Avengers movie. So a lot of my sets are really incomplete, which makes me sad sometimes because I am a collector as well. But it's just like sometimes you're, making a video and you really need that thing in the background. So
for sure. Do you have like minifigures that you collect at all? Those are a bit easier. Maybe you have them off to the side.
I do, but they're all separated in bins everywhere.
They still get used and stuff.
It's like, I need this hair or I need this helmet or these legs. So it gets tricky. It gets tricky.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Even just when I'm like building a mock or something, obviously you have to put a bunch of figures in a mock. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me just modify these guys real quick and swap the hair pieces, make it look more fit for the scene. And I'm like, I'll put it back. I'm like, oh dude, which one did that go to? It's been months. I have no idea. So I can only imagine the kind of nightmare that is.
Yeah, I just think I need a better organization system maybe. So
it's tough. Do you have a lot of space to work with?
I have a decent amount. I've got my studio room and then my actual room where I display stuff. It's just that everything gets so chaotic when I'm animating.
Yeah,
so.
I'd imagine.
But I've got
your workspace really messy.
I wish I could show you guys a photo because after a video, it's insane. Everything is everywhere. I have a couple sets in my room that I call the untouchables, like the AT-AT, the one that gets picked up by the dropship. And then a couple other big Star Wars sets where I'm just like, do not, Akash, do not touch these.
Yep. Untouchables. I like that.
So I try to keep some of my stuff together, but once you get into animator mode, everything is just piece. Like in the Lego movie where they see all those things.
Yeah.
All the numbers.
Yeah, it gets like that sometimes.
Oh, that's crazy. Do you have a favorite theme?
Oh yeah.
It doesn't even have to be a Lego licensed theme, but stuff that you've worked with, like stuff that you've made for different shows. Favorite theme or whatever.
I think Star Wars is just my favorite.
Yes.
They're incredible.
Yeah.
So wild.
Yeah, they're the best for sure.
So that's a good question. How do you choose what you want to make a video with a movie with? Because I heard you mention Harry Potter. Do you like Harry Potter, or do you just get Harry Potter sets to make movies? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's tricky. I actually just recently got into Harry Potter. I don't know why I never got around to watching them or reading them as a kid, but I kind of pick and choose the videos I make. It used to be very, it's tricky because as a YouTuber, you know, you're always thinking about what gets views, which gets really in your head a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think now that I make such little videos, I really like to just do videos about things that I enjoy. Like I'll watch The Mandalorian and I'm like, wow, I love The Mandalorian. And then I'll go make a video about it. Spider-Man No Way Home, great movie. And then it's like, oh, I want to make a video about this. It's almost, I think of it as a way to document kind of my interests on my channel, so you can look back and see what some of my favorite things are, just because I've made videos about them.
That's cool. I feel like it works so much better too, because it's more of passion projects instead of just, you don't want to make a really fun thing just work. You want to be able to have fun with the really fun content.
Yeah, that's
important.
Dani, if you don't know, she makes really good reels. She makes really good videos. She's very entertaining, and I think you do. Are you doing daily content now?
I'm trying to get shorts out every day so that there's something to fill the gap until I get my like longer form stuff out there. But yeah, there's a lot of kind of questions going around with doing shorts, long form, and what the whole strategy might look like. I mean, yeah, anything short form, whether it's Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts, it's just going to get so many views, which is crazy because then that does convert actual followers and subscribers. And if you're trying to get some numbers bumped up a little bit, if you're kind of still in the newer game like I am, then it's kind of nice. So
yeah, I trying to do some like on Instagram and like TikTok, you're killing it on there with like the shorts, you know?
Yeah, actually, it's funny because like TikTok, I thought was gonna just be the easiest. And YouTube is like overtaking it. So I'm like, screw TikTok. I don't know. They're just, the algorithms are all so different on the platforms. They seem the same on the surface, but they're not. They're so not.
I watch a lot of those video educational things. I know we all do. Some people say they don't, but everybody does, because sometimes I see them in the live chats in chatting away. And I'm like, hey, you said you don't watch me.
They like Think Media.
Yeah, I think Media, vidIQ, they're all really good. I watch vidIQ because I like the dude that does the videos. I think he's quite funny. Rob, his name is. But a lot of them are coming out and they're saying that they think, they've been told by YouTube that there's two different algorithms. There's a short algorithm and a YouTube long form algorithm as well. And that would explain why sometimes if you put a short out, when you look at where the people have watched it, it's Indonesia and Mexico, Asian places, and it's not like for me, Europe. But then when I put a long form video out, it's United States, Europe, France, blah 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 blah. So I've been wondering why, but they've kind of confirmed that there's two algorithms, and if you put a short out, it doesn't yet promote your long form videos. And apparently they're working on a way of bridging the two. Because sometimes I don't even think shorts give a notification out if you put a short out. It's just in the short show. Go on.
Have you heard of Brickverse?
Nope.
Okay, so this was because of shorts. He's actually Lego animator because he's changing all the faces and stuff. He created a Mr. Beast shorts. And it was his first video, and it blew up like 2.7 million views.
Yeah.
And
when he does the same thing, right? Like same exact video, but as in
he copies Mr. Beast video in Lego form, and he only has a couple of vids because obviously, like we all know, it takes a ton of time and work. But yeah, I just thought that was really interesting because it was introduced to me, like his channel was introduced to me through a shorts. And then he's only got 2 long form videos, and they're 3 and 4 minutes. Like they're insane. Like that is a ton of stop motion. And it was just like the short form versus the long form. Like clearly he's got really good content either way, but it was introduced to me through short form.
Yeah, I know I said I didn't hear them, but when you start to describe the videos, I have come across them. You did a really good one where, I spent like 6 days in a coffin or whatever, and it's the Lego version of it. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. But they're dangerous because you just watch them for like, it's like TikTok. Your day goes, you stand there for 40 minutes, you think you're there for 2, and it's like, oh Jesus, what have I done? Where's my day gone? Have you done any shorts? Are you going to get into shorts at all, Akash?
Oh, it's tricky. I don't know. I think the one big thing that I really don't like about shorts is how you can't set a thumbnail, which I've always
Well, if you
been
post it on your computer, you technically can.
Oh, you
but
can?
a lot of times I'm posting them from my phone, in which you can't set a thumbnail, but you can go back and edit afterwards. But if people are looking, if they're scrolling through shorts, a thumbnail doesn't matter unless it's on the shorts shelf and they're actually going to click on it or off your channel.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
I don't know. I've never really thought about it, but I guess it would be a good way to do like maybe some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, once it's under 59 seconds, you're fine. And some of your videos would fit into that pretty well as well. I know who wants
just the aspect ratio.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
there is an option as well. If you post a video, it asks you, do you want to post it as a short, and it will put it into a it will change the format for you, but it can leave off the left and right, so you're kind of going like,
right,
does this work or whatever? But the preview is there. You don't have to post it, but it's something to look into. Yeah, for sure. Shy, I have seen your Stranger Things reel popping up a lot. I think you did a short on it as well. It's really good. It's exactly what it should be. It's showing showing what the set does. I really like it. How long did it take to do?
5 seconds.
It looks like one of those where it's, your perfect kind of video that took maybe about 4 hours to do because, I don't know, Hopper fell out of it or the car fell off or whatever. And I love when just one shot and you get it and you're like, oh, that's
I was just kidding. It took like 10 seconds. I was trying to get it to like where it land in the same spot, but I just couldn't do it. Yeah, that one. I couldn't. Like, you can see the shift. Like, I was like going back and forth, like recording over and over and over again, but I can never line it up exactly where I left off. I even marked it and I can never get it. So like you can see it shift, which is kind of annoying. I just wanted it to keep going. It's
just like constant.
But it just it didn't work. So I was just like, screw it, I'm over this. I'm just posting it. Hi, Danny.
What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed that close up.
Yeah, no, I nearly did my usual. I nearly ended the stream by doing I do it all the time.
You're like, oh no, Danny's face has been on screen too long.
No. I want to say hi to Open Bill Repeat, who has jumped in. Michael, who has jumped in as well. I don't know. I always have trouble between Michelle and Michael, and Lorraine always laughs at me. And being an Irish Catholic who doesn't partake in religion, because when I was young you were told, hey, you have to take a name for this and take a name for that. So my name is Simon Paul Michael, right? So I can never spell Michael. I always spell Michelle instead, and Lorraine is always laughing at me. You say, oh, you can't even spell your own name. There's a poll at the moment. If you're just joining, take part in the poll. The poll is up to 81 votes. The question is, would you buy Lego sets from the Boys TV show? Yes is winning by 54. No is 46. 81 votes. Let's try and get up to 100 votes at least. We've got loads of time. And don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. If you haven't heard of anyone else, hit the subscribe button. The links are in the description below. And yeah, so BFAB, have you managed to get your food in? Do you have any questions?
I think I know a lot about Akash, which is kind of creepy. It's hard to ask questions when, I've been watching your content since 2015, 2016. So, I know your stuff so well, So, everything everyone's saying here, for the most part, I already know, other than, the boys thing. I didn't know about that because I haven't kept up with, the most recent seasons, I guess, so. Yeah, so I'm kind of this guy that knows a lot, right?
But you've been around for a long time, BFAB. You know, a lot of people who are in the community.
Yeah, no, I know about Akash's work. It's great work. So,
thank you.
Sorry, I interrupted this. Nope.
Oh, I wasn't saying anything, if that's what you were.
There's a garbling. From me. Hang on a second.
Test.
So somebody, I'll use Is that weird sounds coming from me? Somebody talk.
You're good. It sounds good now.
Good. Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I was trying to type it and I couldn't spell the word I was trying to think of.
I can't
Spelling
type.
is hard.
So she
Zai
wrote in
is
the
underwater.
she wrote in the private chat, muffled, milkfold. I can't. I don't know what a milkfold is. It's like a sweet, like a milk dud or something. I don't know.
It sounds like it could be a like a crepe or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have a fan on, so if it's a fan, let me know, and I can turn it off. I want to know as well, how many people, or have you collaborated with other people in the Lego community?
This is for me.
Yep.
Oh, quite a bit actually. I love collaborating with people. It's really fun. I do a lot of collaborations with Rad Visuals. He's kind of like my partner. I've done some collabs where we'll do part 1 and part 2 of videos, just so that you kind of watch this person's video, then part 2 happens on my channel. I've done that quite a bit. I don't know if you guys know Mini Superheroes Today.
Yeah, he's the homie. Yeah.
Yeah, just did his. I just collaborated with Thor. His Thor movie video.
That was a great stop motion. I know a bunch of people, I guess, participated in that, and then like he had a little song and whatever. That's pretty good.
So that was. This was really fun because you get ideas. Yeah.
Is anyone else hearing that audio?
Yeah, I was muted.
I
so-
think that might be me, actually. I think because every time you guys talk, I start echoing. So I don't know. That might be me. One sec, I'll even come back.
All BFAB's fault. Big surprise.
that B stands for back feedback. So big
BFAB
surprise,
stands for bad feedback.
back feedback. But so yeah, as far as collaborations go, Forest Fire, have you ever done a collaboration with him?
No, actually, I haven't. I've been talking to him for a while. I ask him for some advice a lot of the time, but no, I have not yet collaborated with him. That would be cool to do in the future. He's probably my favorite Lego animator. So
I remember the first time I went to because I went to check him out. He was doing a live stream, and I went to have a look, and it was a very unconventional live stream. He does what he wants. He doesn't stick to the rules. So he was building a set, just a regular set that he bought. I think it was it was from the Batman movie, and he had an audio book on. And I could be wrong. I think it was Alice in Wonderland, and it was fascinating to watch because it was just a guy listening to an audiobook building a set. It was like mind blowing. I was like, what's going on? So I was chatting away and I was like, okay, does he know we're here? And everyone's like, yeah, he's just listening to the book. And I was like, okay, I'll go with this then.
yeah, no, animation live streams can be so boring too, because it's like when we're animating, you're just watching us, our hands on the screen move Lego. So I think our subscribers are more used to something less interesting. So
well, do you know what? I was watching him animating one of his last Batman movies, and it was when Selena Kyle was up on in the abandoned building, and I was fascinated. Like the tiniest of little touches to the head and the tiniest little touches to the leg. He was like, I watched a leg move. It took about 20 minutes, and I think it maybe moved a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. But then when I watched the whole thing, when he posted, I was like, oh my God, I saw him actually animating this. It's just, I don't know how you have the patience for it. I'd have thrown it out the window. I don't have the patience. Do you not find yourself sometimes want to rip your head off? And or what happens when you make a mistake?
It's interesting because a lot of people, they say that to me too. It's like, how do you have the patience? Stop motion is not patience at all, because patience is you waiting around for something. When you're animating, you have all the control. So it's almost like the opposite. You know exactly what's happening. You know what you're working towards, and you kind of can control everything. So I feel like it's not really based on patience, because I don't have a lot of patience either. It's kind of just knowing that you're controlling exactly what's happening. But when you do make a mistake, honestly, it almost doesn't even matter, because the mistakes are so quick and the process is already so long that it's like if you're working for an hour on a shot, and then you knock this figure back. You take maybe a minute to fix him, and in the grand scheme of things, it's really not too big of a deal.
Because I've wondered, like, as you said, what if you're like, you feel like sometimes I do that in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, and I knock over a glass. Like, have you ever like physically knocked a minifigure off and you're kind of like, oh God, how do you fix that? Do you just go watch the footage back and go, okay, well, it should be about there?
Yeah, you can, if you shoot on some programs have the onion skinning feature, so you can do that as well. What I do is a lot of my films or action videos, if something gets really badly knocked, I'll just go like, okay, it's time for a cut, like new shot, or this changes. I kind of let that drive sometimes what I'm doing. It's kind of fun in a sense where if you're improvising a fight scene and somebody falls or somebody is off frame, it's like, okay, now's the time to cut away from the action, and you can kind of work it into your process.
What about fingerprints on your minifigures or in your putty or anything? Do you care about that? Or because in the Lego movie, in the first one, I think there were some fingerprints and stuff, and I kind of liked that because it made it look, like someone had been playing with it.
Yeah, I think on the figures I don't mind, but the clay, I usually try to handle the clay with the glove on, just because it can get pretty distracting if you see a big thumbprint in clay. But on the figures and stuff, I don't really mind because, yeah, it kind of gives a little tangibility to them. It feels a bit more personal if you can see like a little hair or kind of a speck of dust, stuff like that.
Yes, sure. Well, you don't want a big false eyelash on someone's head. Like, oh my God. Have you ever posted something, watched it back, and thought to yourself, "Oh no, I've made something wrong, or something has been knocked off, or whatever"?
Yes.
Or the worst, have someone in the comments saying you did this wrong or that's backwards, and you're like, ugh.
I think there's been a couple of those. I usually don't let them bother me because it's a YouTube video, not an Oscar-nominated movie or anything. But I have my most popular video. My Lego Hulk video, I think now it has, this is not even just like brag about the views, this is just to tell you how many people have seen my mistake. I think has 40 million views, and one of the captions, somebody speaking Spanish, and he's supposed to say gave, like he gave me, and it says game with an M. And that to this day, just like, oh, it's so saddening. It's crazy. I really wish there was a feature on YouTube where you could go in and like kind of picture edit stuff. I'm surprised they haven't come out with that yet.
I agree, and I think they just possibly don't think that we need or want it, because maybe they think, oh well, we're not like a big editing software people, but like it'd be brilliant. I mean, it can't be that hard to just put something like that in. I mean, you've got iMovie has stuff that's like free and just on a phone, and YouTube is free, and they could just pop it in. They'd make enough money. But yeah, maybe they just think they don't need anything like that.
I think it might be a matter of just how out of control that might get. If you give people the ability to edit a YouTube video too much after it's been posted, I feel like that would maybe fly off the rails too much. So
that is true. That is true. I see Craigster, who is also known as Brickstage Pass, in the chat, and Brick Scene are here as well. They are going to be doing their live stream is called some. Oh my God, I forgot it. Some assembly required. Forgive me. Some assembly required. They're on a 10 tonight because they're taking part in the 72-hour live stream. So they won't be on straight after here. We're going to be finishing earlier because there's so much going on with people we know doing different live streams and stuff like that. DANI is hungry as well, so she wants to get some sort of sandwich or bologna one. I don't know. She
got to make a taco salad today. Today's Taco Thursday.
Taco Thursday. Do you know what? I've never had a taco.
Bro, what?
I live in Ireland. You barely get anything like that. Really.
Just put something in a tortilla, call it a taco. You're good.
Oh, is that it? Oh, well, then that's easy enough.
Basically, it's America. We don't make real tacos.
Really, make a taco for me. Emily is a fan of breakfast burritos. That's something I could get into.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Salsa makes all the difference. Basically, you put salsa on a tortilla, it's a breakfast burrito.
Lorraine, write this down, a breakfast burrito. Okay, so she's got her order. She's not even here. I'm just shouting at an empty room. That's what goes on in my head. So I just want to say also hello to who did I see dropping in there? I don't know if I said hello to Open Build Repeat. Open Build Repeat. Hey, how are you doing? Everybody in the chat is some sort of a Lego YouTuber, so go and check everybody out. As I was saying earlier, there's a 72-hour live stream going on. That started yesterday. It's finishing Sunday. There's loads of cool people in there from various kind of backgrounds when it comes to the YouTube world. Tomorrow at the, I think it's the usual time, I'll have to find it out, but tomorrow I will be on with Greg on London Calling on London Bridge Bricks channel. I'll be on at about 9:30, but I think he's starting at his normal time. If anyone knows if I'm wrong, stick it into the chat. He's got some cool people on tomorrow. I think Cat Colors from Blocks Magazine is going to be on with us. Half Asleep Chris is a surprise guest. He's going to be on as well with us. So it'd be good to see Chris again. He was fun when he was on here last time. So as far as tomorrow goes, Danny, are you doing any streaming? Are you going to be popping around?
I wasn't planning on it, but I'm always game.
Okay, and I think Shy is the only other person that I know who's left from kind of our group who's doing the 72-hour, or so was it 72, 78, 74? It started on Wednesday. It used to start on a Friday, go to Sunday. Who else is going to be on yours, Shy?
Don't know.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. I just threw it in there. So whoever comes on, I guess.
What, you're on at 9, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2. That's 2 a.m. for me. I might be still awake. I might say hello, but I won't be popping on the stadium at that time of the day. Anybody got any more questions for Akash?
What's your favorite movie?
Ooh, Kubo and the Two Strings.
What?
Say again? What?
Kubo and the Two Strings. It's by Leica, stop motion animated movie. Beautiful movie. Absolutely my favorite.
Let me write that down. What is it called?
Kubo and Two Strings. I think Shy said something. I think I missed what you said.
Oh no, I was talking to my son.
Oh, okay. Your setup is also amazing. All your setups put mine to shame. It's insane.
Thanks.
You can have a bigger look.
It's a hodge mess down here. For like, there's like a bunch of stuff. I'm like redoing the way this looks. Like it's a mess. This looks cool.
It does.
But down here, it's pretty bad.
Are those all trees behind you on the left?
Say again?
Are those all trees, like blossom trees?
Yeah, right here? Yeah, they're cherry blossom trees.
Wow. That is cool.
That seems to be a fan fave. This is all jacked up because the kids play here all the time. So, like, this lower tier, there's like, it's chaos. All chaos.
I always find that funny as well, because this is kind of like all people see of where we are, and no one knows that, like, over there's a mess, and if I walk here, I'll fall over something, and it's usually about 4 or 5 teenagers in Danny's room out of shop playing computer games and everything, and everyone thinks it's so perfect where you are. I'm so jealous. Oh my god! I won't turn the camera around. You'll be shocked. But I mean, for your layout, Shy, you're well known for being into military sets, and Lego don't usually make military sets. So just for anyone who hasn't seen or heard of any of your stuff before, do you want to tell people about you and your kind of Brickmania collection?
Okay. I'm known for like the military stuff, so like the military Lego custom stuff, so like the Brick Veteran, Brickmania, or any of like the third-party custom stuff. It's just since everything's kind of going up, I'm kind of like slowing that down because it's been really, really pricey lately. So I've been kind of venturing into like castle and army building. So that's where I'm kind of focusing my time at the moment, just because I could, it's technically the same price. I could just make more content out of it. So yeah.
And as far as Brickmania, have you ever done like work with them or collabs with them?
Wait, what do you mean? Yes, and yes.
So, like, basically, did they ever send you stuff to review? And
they have, and I got a lot of heat for it.
Why?
So, haters gonna hate.
Just because it's like not like from the Lego group.
No, it's because it's other like $4,000 Lego set. So why do I get it for free?
That story again. I know. What I mean, like people. I don't know. I think sometimes people don't understand that, like, you know, if you're an influencer basically, and you actually like that stuff, and it's good for them and for you to show other people, hey, look, the stuff that Lego doesn't make. This is genuine Lego bricks, and it's available.
Yeah, I mean, it's I get hooked up every now and then, but it's not something that's common. Like I'll get like free stuff from both Brick Veteran mainly to review and stuff like that, but like I don't ask for it, and like it's just I don't know. I like to. It's hard for me to like to get into the numbers with that because it's just so expensive, and a lot of people are priced out of it. So I don't know. I don't like to like promote. I'm getting this for free.
So who
ask for that handout?
Who would be buying the Brickmania stuff? Would it be veterans? Would it be people who like military and Lego stuff, or who's their customer?
So I finally figured that out when I got to meet everybody at like World War Brick before Brick World, because it's like Brickmania's convention. So I got to see a good number of my demographic like in person. So obviously there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of veterans that will buy stuff, especially when it's like nostalgia reasons, like for myself. But like the real money maker for Brickmania and companies like Brick Veteran who sell stuff like at $2,000 for a small set are people who have a lot of money. Like they are like upper echelon officers for companies. They're general military contractors, government contractors. They like live in the middle of nowhere, so they have like 5-acre land and like they have all the time in the world. Like they depend, because if you go to a Brickmania store, they're not going to try to sell you anything. They're not about that. They're like, hey, this is cool. We know it's expensive. They know it's expensive, so they're not going to force feed anything to you. So what they really depend on are the whales of the Lego community. Like those people, like I'm not even close to the collection of these people. Like they have some serious money. So that's who Brick, and they don't make content. They're not out there social media wise. So you'll never see any of this. They're just lurking in the shadows. So these are the people that like Lego probably should target, which I think they're trying to. But these are the people that buy like a lot of stuff. Like they'll buy every jet, and one jet is already anywhere between $700 to like $2,000 every time it comes out. So we don't see those people. Like we don't see like that type of fandom, unless you're Duck Bricks. But I mean, like you never really see any of those people around who have that type of money and will buy everything.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to like get someone, a collector, someone who's into it on at some stage, like do a Brickmania kind of stream. So I mean, if you know anybody, reach out.
They won't come on. It's because they're high officers of whatever they do. They have to keep themselves hidden.
Oh, really?
You're not going to see them. They're not. You won't see them on social media. You won't see them anywhere.
Well, do you know, I could pixelate their face and have them in a voice changer. I'm Sam. I'm not.
Yeah. So those are the people that are buying a lot of the sets. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't know that. I mean, I kind of did, but like I got a lot of that. Like, they're like, hey, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, who are you? Like, oh, I don't comment, or I don't have, because I always ask for like their Insta handle or their YouTube handle. Like, I don't comment. And I'm like, but I watch videos. I'm like, okay. Well, blah blah blah. And then they always ask, what do you do? And I'm like, okay, but the normal American question. So like when they tell me what they do, I'm like, wow. I really feel like out of place, because I had a colonel watch my stuff, and I'm like, I figure like low echelon or high staff NCOs, enlisted side, or maybe low officers would watch my content. But when I have colonels and low commanding generals watching your content, I'm like, now I feel like I need to put more effort, because like I feel like I already do, but like I feel like I need to put more, because now I have like CEOs and people with commanding power and political power watching your content. And that's like puts it at another level that was not prepared for. I'm like, why do you watch my stuff? Like, why? Like, aren't you like running something? Like, what are you doing watching content on YouTube?
That's
like
super interesting,
I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, because they tell me what they do. I'm like, what are you doing here? like you need to be protecting the United States right now. What are you doing here?
It could be
like,
on a smoke
I'm
break.
on a little vacation. I'm not that far. I just flew over here. I'm on a whim. Just flew on over here on a whim just to come say hi and leave.
But isn't that interesting? Like, you know, they're people just like us.
Yeah. It's really like, and then you go to like to Brick World and it's a completely different demographic. And I'm just like, wow, this is a complete 180. But like, that's what's cool though, because like there are a lot of kids that do get into this part of the world, and there are a lot of adults that, you know, aren't as financially wealthy like those people, but like, or rich. I would say most of them are rich, not wealthy. But like, they're, you know, it's really like, I can't really peg what the customer base is because it's really like out there. It's not it's not something I can like describe. It was really surreal when I saw that, and I'm like, okay, this is not something I'm used to.
That's crazy. Andrew says he does Brickmania himself. So Andrew, does that mean you collect, or you know, what do you do with yours? The other thing I was going to ask Akash was Shy just kind of touched on it there, conventions and brick fairs and stuff. Have you ever been to anything like that?
I have not, just because I think I'm in Canada and I don't even know if there's any here, but I've always thought about going to them. I just never got around to it. They look really cool. Some of my friends go and I'm like, wow.
Well, if you have any friends on the East Coast, 2 weekends from now is the time to be there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, Brick Fair Virginia is coming up August 6th and 7th that weekend.
Right. Oh, Brick Fair Virginia.
That's going to be fun.
Pretty
Sorry,
cool.
Lauren. Lauren bought a bunch of stuff from Brick.
Oh my god. Lauren says, who's also Bryce Witch Bricks, who usually specializes in Harry Potter stuff and branches out to Star Wars occasionally. She says, I've got a lot of Brickmania custom figs and I bought my first set this year. And I'm sure the catalyst was Shy. And obviously she's going to Brick Fair Virginia as well. Now, obviously, because I live in Ireland, I have to look at all you guys when you go and you do your videos and you have your live streams, and I just live my life through you guys, and it gets so jealous. So I mean, I missed one. You know, I missed one. I was supposed to go to one on the weekend, and it wasn't until last Monday we were like, oh my god, we're supposed to go to that one. So that was Brick Fela. So Dave, if you're watching, sorry. Which actually in October I will be. I was asked to be a guest in BrickCon in Ireland as well. So if you're going to be around in the Tallaght Stadium or in Dublin, come and say hello to me at that. So that'll be good fun. Weird thing is, most of my people who watch are from America or the UK. So, you know, if you're in Ireland, I'm over here. Say hello. Weird. So it is the 9 o'clock hour. We're going to wind it down here, and I just want to say thank you to Akash for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to meet all of you.
Yeah,
to meet you. And Danny, obviously good to see you. I hope you have a nice taco.
Yeah, taco salad.
Shy, good to have you here again. I'm always fascinated to hear about the Brickmania stuff. Next time you're on, we have to talk about it a lot longer. It's good to see you, and thank you all for being here and giving up your day to hang out with us. BFAB, good to see you. I know you were working all day. You're probably really tired, so thank you. I do appreciate your time. It's good to see you.
Glad to be here, Si.
And I will give a quick goodbye to as many people as I can from the chat, because there's so many of you there. Brick Scene and Brick Stage Pass, 10 o'clock tonight. That's UK time. So they are going to be on Brick Scene's channel. Tina Bricks was here. Michael was here. Mr. and Mrs. Mikey. Hugh, Suspicious, the Brick Patch. The Brick Patch actually is a new friend I made from Ireland. He is a YouTuber. I didn't know how good he was, but he's brilliant. He designs... I won't say like Ash and Flash, but does the kind of art Ash and Flash and the other kind of artists do. He does brilliant concept sets, I suppose they'd be called. So go and check him out. That is Let's put him up here. I've lost him. Here we go. The Brick Patch. So go and check him out. Subscribe to him if you like that kind of stuff. Really good. And he's Irish. I found an Irish YouTuber. Who else was here? The Minifig Who, Bright Switch Bricks, Olendorf, LEGODANIBOB is in there for some reason. Redmond Bricks popped in. Andrew was here. I saw someone else I should be saying goodbye to from one of your streams last night, Danny. And we will leave it there. We will let everybody go and get something to eat. Thank you all for watching. Before we go, I will just quickly end this poll and tell everybody that the poll has 88 votes. The question was, would you buy Lego sets from the boys TV show? It actually, the yes won. It's very, very up and down. So 53% is yes, 48% is no. And that is it from us. Take care. We will see you all next time, probably about 2 weeks. Bye. Smell you later.